Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. KODY Brown arrested. Fifth wife exposed. Courtroom chaos as Sister Wives turn on him in full trial shocker. The Sister Wives universe was rocked this week by a bombshell so massive that fans are still reeling, hashtags are still trending, and the Brown family name has once again been dragged into the spotlight for reasons no one could have predicted. KODY Brown, the man who built his reality TV empire on the foundation of plural marriage, fatherhood, and a larger-than-life personality, has now been arrested in connection to allegations swirling around his rumored fifth wife. Yes, you read that. Right, a fifth wife, whose shocking courtroom testimony turned what was already a tense trial into an absolute circus of betrayal, legal fireworks, and emotional meltdowns, leaving fans across the world wondering if this is finally the end of KODY's reign as the patriarch of Sister Wives, or if he's somehow going to spin even this into another storyline. Eyewitnesses from inside the courtroom say chaos broke out the moment the fifth wife's identity was confirmed, as whispers turned to gasps, and gasps turned into audible shrieks from those in attendance, including former wives who allegedly appear to testify against him, making this not only a trial of alleged legal wrongdoing but also a stage for years of pent-up resentment, anger, and the unraveling of KODY's carefully crafted public image. According to insiders close to the Brown family, the arrest came after months of quiet investigation, which KODY apparently believed he could outmaneuver the same way he's dodged criticism, divorce backlash, and fan petitions to cancel Sister Wives in the past. But this time the stakes were too high, the secrets too deep, and the betrayal too raw, especially once the fifth wife stepped into the picture. Fans who have followed KODY's journey from the beginning know that he often prided himself on being transparent. Yet those very same fans are now calling him out on social media for allegedly hiding a fifth marriage arrangement, all while publicly insisting that Robin was his soulmate and last wife. The trial, which has been described as must-see courtroom television by observers, featured explosive testimony from the so-called fifth wife, who claims KODY promised her loyalty, financial support, and a future, while simultaneously siphoning resources from the already embattled Sister Wives empire to fund his secret lifestyle. Her tearful confession in front of the judge not only exposed KODY's alleged double life, but also prompted audible reactions from Christine, Janelle, and Mary, who were reportedly present and who, for once, seemed united not in rivalry, but in a shared sense of vindication that their years of warnings about KODY's manipulative ways may have finally come to light. The arrest itself was said to be cinematic, with local Flagstaff police arriving just as KODY was attempting to leave a closed-door deposition, his signature mane of hair pulled back into a frantic ponytail as he argued with officers and shouted about conspiracy theories, accusing his ex-wives of collusion, TLC of betrayal, and even fans of orchestrating what he called a witch hunt. But the real shocker didn't come until prosecutors revealed the fifth wife had not only receipts of financial transactions, text messages, and private letters allegedly written by KODY, but also a bombshell claim that she was pressured into silence for years, fearing not only the loss of financial support but also KODY's wrath if she went public. Courtroom reporters described the scene as unlike anything seen in reality TV fallout, with Robin Brown breaking down in tears as she realized she was not KODY's one and only after all, Christine allegedly smirking from her seat, and Janelle shaking her head in disgust, mouthing the words, "I knew it," as the fifth wife's attorney laid out the case. As the trial proceeded, more skeletons tumbled out of KODY's closet, allegations of reckless spending, questionable donations that never lined up with bank records, and testimony that painted him as a man obsessed with maintaining control, power, and the image of wealth, even as his empire crumbled from within. Social media exploded with hashtags like hashtag KODY arrested, hashtag fifth wife exposed, and hashtag Sister Wives trial, with fans dissecting every courtroom update, every flicker of emotion on the wives' faces, and every detail about the mysterious fifth wife who many now believe was the tipping point in KODY's downfall. Meanwhile, TLC has reportedly gone into crisis mode, debating whether to pull the plug on Sister Wives altogether or pivot to cover the trial in a true crime spin-off that insiders believe would draw record-breaking ratings. Legal analysts say the case could drag on for months, especially if KODY refuses a plea deal and if his wives, both ex and current, continue to cooperate with prosecutors. But perhaps the biggest blow of all came when Mary, Christine, and Janelle were allegedly spotted leaving the courthouse together, arm in arm, smiling for cameras, a symbolic gesture that suggested the years of bitterness and rivalry were gone, replaced instead by a united front against the man who had once played them off each other in the name of plural marriage. Fans were quick to celebrate the trio online, calling them the true sister wives, and praising them for finally breaking free of KODY's manipulative grasp, while others couldn't resist pointing out the irony that it took a courtroom showdown and the exposure of a fifth wife to finally bring them together. As the trial continues, the future of the Brown family, the Sister Wives franchise, and KODY's personal freedom all hang in the balance, with each passing day bringing fresh drama, new revelations, and more courtroom chaos. One thing is clear: KODY Brown's carefully crafted image as a devoted father, husband, and leader of a plural family has been shattered, replaced by the reality of a man facing not only legal consequences, but also the collective wrath of the women he once believed he could control. Whether he's convicted, acquitted, or finds a way to spin this into another chapter of his reality TV saga, the trial has already secured its place in pop culture history as one of the most shocking, dramatic, and unforgettable moments in the Sister Wives story. Anticipation and the weight of years of unresolved tensions filled the courtroom, making it a pressure cooker. KODY Brown, the head of the large polygamous household made well known by TLC's Sister Wives, sat at the defendant's table with a tight, almost haunted look in place of his typical bluster. The guy who had used the allure of a reality TV star to manage for marriages and a small number of kids suddenly faced a legal storm that threatened to destroy everything he had worked so hard to achieve. Financial mismanagement, property misappropriation, and an enigmatic fifth wife, whose presence had shocked both the family and the fan base, were among the explosive accusations. Whispers filled the room as the gavel struck, marking the beginning of the trial. Legal teams moved papers, reporters scrawled frantically, and the Brown family, once a symbol of unorthodox solidarity, sat split, their allegiances shattered. The dissolution of the Brown family's multiple marriage was the catalyst for this courtroom mayhem. After decades of marriage to Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, KODY had consistently established himself as the focal point of their intricate family structure. From managing wife jealousy to raising a brood of 18 children across several homes, the TLC show chronicled their hardships and victories. However, fissures had started to appear in recent years. Robin was KODY's last remaining wife after Christine, Janelle, and Mary left him in 2021. Fans conjectured that the family's breakdown had been caused by KODY's partiality for Robin, but the trial exposed a much more complex web of treachery, money problems, and unspoken secrets. Christine Brown's lawsuit against KODY, which sought custody, paternity, and child support for their youngest daughter, Truly, was the main focus of the trial. According to the Utah courts, Christine's petition, which was submitted in September 2024, had developed into a significant custody dispute. The hearing served as a focal point for the family's complaints and was conducted via web conference because KODY lived in Arizona and Christine in Utah. Both parties had finished their disclosures, according to court documents, and a mediation conference was set for May 21, 2025. Although there were no specific allegations of abuse or domestic violence that were verified, the case's Track 3 classification suggested a high level of conflict that might involve significant allegations. However, the custody dispute was just the beginning. Sensational headlines and social media chatter had stoked rumors that KODY and Robin had been arrested for property embezzlement. According to sources, KODY and Robin had engaged in dubious financial activities, especially involving the family's Flagstaff, Arizona, Coyote Pass property. When the family disintegrated, the property, which had been bought with the goal of creating a shared family compound, became a source of conflict. KODY and Robin were accused by Janelle and Mary, who had made financial contributions to the acquisition, of mismanaging cash and perhaps defrauding them of their portion of the proceeds. The accusations depicted a family split apart by hard money as well as emotional divisions. The courtroom turned into a platform for emotional outbursts and startling discoveries as the trial progressed. Known for her practical approach, Janelle stood her ground with a steely determination. Her testimony, which described years of financial decisions that benefited Robin's home above the others, was a scathing critique of KODY's leadership. She mentioned funds collected for Coyote Pass that inexplicably disappeared without a clear explanation. Her statements were the weight of someone who felt deceived after having once trusted the family's common goal. With a steady but hurtful tone, she stated, "I trusted KODY to manage our finances fairly." However, it became evident that fairness was not a factor. The first wife, Mary, then gave her own testimony. For years, her relationship with KODY has been tense, as seen by awkward exchanges and emotional detachment on sister wives. She didn't hold back in court. She said that KODY was giving Robin more money while ignoring her emotional and material contributions to the family. Moments of unbridled emotion interspersed Mary's testimony as she sobbed as she described the years she spent feeling alienated in her own family. She remarked, "I gave this family everything. And now I have nothing left." But the discovery of a so-called fifth wife was the trial's bombshell. During her testimony, Christine, who had been outspoken about her independence ever since she left KODY, dropped the bombshell. She asserted that KODY had been surreptitiously pursuing a different lady, about whom the other spouses were unaware, in defiance of their family's agreements regarding openness in their multiple marriages. Christine only referred to this woman as the one he thought we wouldn't find out about, leaving her name a mystery. KODY's face paled as the courtroom erupted in gasps. Seated behind him, Robin appeared noticeably worried, her normal poise giving way to a nervous fidgeting. The fifth wife was the subject of much speculation. According to some accounts, she was a younger lady KODY had met at church who shared Robin's and his goal of re-establishing a polygamous household following the other wives' departure. Others asserted that she was a business colleague involved in the dubious financial transactions with Coyote Pass. The absence of specific information only served to heighten the fervor, with fan forums and tabloids ablaze with hypotheses. Was she a swindler who had tricked KODY? Or did she truly believe in his way of life and not see the mayhem she was entering? The trial became a media frenzy only by mentioning her presence, even if the truth was still murky. KODY's defense was a deflection masterclass. With his trademark charm, he took the stand and tried to portray himself as a misunderstood father who had always wished to keep his family together. He insisted that any financial irregularities were caused by the difficulties of running a large, multi-household family and refuted the accusations of embezzlement. His voice rose in conviction as he said, "I've always acted in my family's best interests." However, his confidence faltered when he was being cross-examined. He gave evasive responses when asked about specific Coyote Pass transactions, saying he wasn't a numbers guy. Unimpressed, the judge leaned forward and made notes, her eyes narrowing. Robin played an equally controversial role in the trial. She was expected to support KODY as his surviving wife, and she did so in public. However, sources said behind closed doors that she felt betrayed by KODY's secrecy and was incensed over the fifth wife accusations. When she was asked about the family's financial situation, her well-crafted testimony, which focused on her roles as a loving wife and mother, began to show signs of weakness. Although she acknowledged managing part of Coyote Pass's bookkeeping, she maintained that she had complied with KODY's instructions. Her uneasy posture only fueled curiosity, and her responses did little to allay suspicions that she had participated in any crime.